Hey y'all, hey, welcome to Tootie Talks Us. Y'all know I got to do my checks first to make sure that y'all can hear and see me well. Okay, we on y'all. So today we're gonna talk about the Hispanic community, calling out the Black community and asking where are we in their struggle when I forget I'm talking here. Where are we in their struggle when they're being deported? In this whole executive order that Donald Trump signed, that if your parents are illegal, if you're born in the U.S., you are no longer a U.S. citizen. And of course, ICE going to now have the authority to go into schools and churches to deport, right? So recently on TikTok, there's this like uptick of videos of Hispanic asking the blacks why we ain't helping them. And I'm like, audacity. Now y'all better throw on this theme song and then we're gonna talk about it, okay? I'm gonna give y'all maybe 60 seconds to get on up in here, okay? Monster, monster. I'm the only one still saying that. If I have time, we're gonna also talk about Kendrick Lamar halftime performance because I already did a video talking about how I liked it. Okay, I didn't talk about the symbolisms and everything that was involved in it. So maybe if I have time, we'll talk about that. I'm quite sure y'all didn't. Everybody done broke it down already. And I was just there's maybe one or two videos that I want to show y'all about it. But that's if I have time today. So first, let me show y'all. I told y'all we're going to be discussing how the Hispanic community are asking the Black community where we are, right? So y'all know after Trump won and the demographics of the percentages, the statistics, the whatever you want to call it, how the vote broke down, came out. That a lot of blacks was like, that was also trending on TikTok. Blacks saying, hey, I ain't Bennett, we ain't in it for the next 4 years. We did our part. There were so many videos, so many black commentaries, and other races as well. But specifically, the black community voted a great majority did not vote for Trump. He had that little 2% upticks in black men that people are trying to make it seem like, oh, a lot of black men flooded to Trump. It didn't. It was only 2%. But black women, baby, we held it down. Do you hear me? Down. Okay, so it was still a great 80 some percent of black people vote did not vote for Trump. So we was like, shit about to hit the fan. Do you hear me? Y'all fuck around now. You finna find out because 45% of the Hispanic community voted for Trump, and the blacks was like, hell, y'all didn't hear him. Oh, y'all. First of all, besides y'all didn't hear him, you didn't see his actions in the last term, where the ICE and the deporting and the kids in the cage and the whole build the wall is what he ran on the last term. But maybe because he only built like 1% of the wall, that y'all was like, he just kidding. He ain't for real, y'all. But he was for real. Like before the election, his border czar came out and said that we deporting. That's day one. That's our first priority is to start deporting people, and we're gonna start with the criminals. Y'all never thought to ask, well, who's next? Then he said, at his own mouth, once you cross the border illegally, that makes you a criminal. Still 45% voted. He also said, no, we don't feel like we have to separate families. The people, if they have kids here and the parents are illegal and the kids are legal, are Americans, then the kids could just go back with their parents to the land their parents are from. But still 45% voted for them. I seen a newscast where this this Hispanic family. It ain't funny, y'all. And I know I have some new subscribers that like, oh, she's out. This is not funny. This is real life. Yes, it is real life. But we did our part, and at this point, he's president. So you gonna either, you know, make lemon, you turn them lemon into lemonades. Like we can't just sit here and cry. So I don't know what else y'all want us to do. Okay, I know y'all seen that. What was the name of that Black Sierra movie? And she was like, "Why do black people have to save everybody?" When she was taking out the killer. Now I forget what part I was on, y'all, but okay, he the board czar was like, he'll, y'all don't want to get separated, go back over there with your parents, although y'all American. That way we ain't separate families. So don't you put that on us that we separate families. But still 45% voted. And then I said that's what I was saying. Then I seen this news. Uh, it was a news channel. I forgot which one. I believe I played it on a previous video. But they interviewed this Hispanic family. Well, the parents came over here illegally. The son was legal, but they've been here for 20, 30 some years, and they did get their citizenships. They are now American citizens, and they were part of the Hispanics for Trump. And they was asking him like, okay, but if you came over here illegally and you know what Trump is doing, why would you vote for him? And they was like, oh, and they said, don't you have family who's here illegally? They was like, yeah, but they're good working people. They're working people. They're not criminals. And he's just going to get rid of the criminals. So we're fine with that because, we work hard for our stuff and nobody like criminals. Democrats saying we don't like criminals. Nobody wanted the criminals. It's like, but like he's going to get rid of all illegals. They're like, no, just the criminals. So looky. He over there deport people like he Oprah handed out gifts. You gotta go. You gotta go. You gotta go. Everybody got to go. And now y'all over there talking about where the black people at and why we ain't supporting y'all. And I even seen a video that said we owe y'all because we ran to Mexico for freedom when slavery was legal in the U.S. I said, wait a minute. Now that fact is true. But we can't forget the part before that. Like, do you know the Spanish and Portuguese is the one that started the slave trade to the Caribbean? Are we not going to say that y'all didn't have slaves? Like, what are we doing right now? What is going on? I feel like I'm living in a twilight zone. So now I'm like, that's why the title of the video is like, don't you put that on us, Ricki Bobbi, because how do y'all have the thing to say, where is black people? We was in, you know where we was at? You want to know where we was in? We was in that booth, not voting for this. Well, y'all was in there voting for this. And then you ask, where's we? We man our home of business right now. Is what we doing. Because we do know that it may start with y'all, but it ain't gonna end with y'all. We know that. We try to get prepared. We try to make sure we stable and everything all right. We're here. We love y'all. But we also tried to warn y'all. And now y'all over there fucking around and find out that y'all better blame us for this shit. You better go blame that 45%. You find them. Because they like, you probably aunties and cousins and stuff. Find them and ask them what the fuck they was thinking. And how did y'all end up here? And what made them vote for Trump? And maybe, I ain't gonna say slap them, but give still kick in the butt won't hurt. I'm gonna show y'all this short that I just put together. Because when I seen these videos on TikTok with the Hispanic asking the black community where we at, where you at, like J Hood, where you at. I said, I put together this little short because this is what it actually reminded me of. Hopefully, I can get to my page and I can share it with y'all. Let me see. I don't even know what the hell my page at. I can't find my own page. That's ridiculous. Okay. Did it upload? I don't even know if it uploaded. Let me look at this. Let me look at this. If not, I'll come back to it. But I'll show y'all some other TikToks. It should upload it. Let me cut this down. Yeah, there it is. Mm-mm-mm-mm. That be still in my head. Mm-mm-mm-mm. Mm-mm-mm-mm. And that we'll talk about that too. Watch this, y'all.
In my head, I hope that both of you have sons, handsome, beautiful, articulate sons who are talented and star athletes, and they have their legs taken away. I mean, I pray you know that pain and that hurt.
Don't you put that evil on me, Ricki Bobbi. Don't you put that on us. You are not paralyzed.
I am so paralyzed.
No.
Rough on him now.
No, he needs to know.
Okay.
He's always crying.
Tough love it is. Tough love. Wake up, idiot.
You want to know what I am? You want to see what my life is?
And that's Hispanics for Trump.
You want to see what's going on here?
Don't you stick that knife in your leg.
And don't do it. Don't do it.
Oh, man! Ow!
Well, hold on.
Oh, oh, man!
Hold on now. Hold on.
Oh, that hurt.
Walk it off.
And that's how my man works. I'm like, don't you put that on us, Ricki Bobbi. Y'all been talking about where we's at. And then this is another video that I came across that I was like, of course, you know, our culture has a way to like, we gonna laugh, baby. So now there's videos popping up with, let me show y'all that videos people I met making about how we reacting to this request.
Do you have any questions or concerns?
Well, I do have a few concerns. It's kind of a pressing matter, but I know you don't have much time.
The title of that one, Black Women from 2025 through 2029. That's how we gonna be. You have any questions or concerns? And this one is, I feel like, was a good response to this is a TikTok of this Hispanic woman responding to Hispanic. I have to pause it. Responded to Hispanic who's talking to the black community, telling us that we need to be there. And this is this Hispanic woman respond. Let me see. Is it gonna come up? Yeah, do y'all see it? Let me make sure that y'all is displayed up in here. Okay.
I think majority like Mexicans and the Black community. And I just have to say to my Mexican people who are asking why the Black people are not like protesting with us or whatever. Why? Why would they? 92% of their women voted for Kamala. 80% of their community of men voted for Kamala. 60% of Latinos voted for Kamala. And I believe the majority were women and the majority were Mexican. But that number is crazy. Considering that Hispanics and Latinos are becoming the fastest growing minority. Like, we are going to be the majority soon. And it's crazy for me to think that that's so fucking low. And we are asking where the black community is when they're the ones who tried to avoid this.
And we need.
Hello. They tried to avoid this. We all tried to tell you guys. Even within my own community, I'm talking to you guys because I did the work. And I know other Latinas who did the work. We were on calls every fucking week. We were writing postcards. We were making phone calls. And you guys were probably nowhere in sight, my Latino community. And now you're begging the black community to come help us, to come save us. No. I think it's time we learn to save ourselves and let the black community rest. Because my God, have they not done enough fucking work?
Okay, shoulders tied.
So yeah. Where were we during the George Floyd protests? Or the
Now I paused it right there because this is also something that I wanted to talk about during this time. So during the George Floyd protests over here in the Chicago area, y'all can look it up. There's different videos. There's different videos about it. Oh, okay. Y'all can look it up. There's different videos about it. But during the George Floyd protests, the Black Lives Matter protests, that the ones that took place in Chicago. So there's pockets of Chicago. Like I said in previous videos, if you're from Chicago, you know Chicago is a very segregated city. So the Hispanic community may live in one area, blacks may live in one area, whites may live in a whole other different area. They're very separated. Yes, they could sprinkle in here and there, but you have a Greek community, you have a Chinatown, you have a Orthodox Jewish community. I think that's like the Evanston area. You have poor whites that live somewhere. You have rich whites that lives in a completely different neighborhood, and it's majority white in that neighborhood. You have poor blacks that lives in a neighborhood, and then you have some suburbs that's a majority of blacks, and they're more middle class. So during the George Floyd and the Black Lives Matter 2020, when we were protesting because we was getting slaughtered out here with unarmed, selling cigarettes, having a hoodie, nobody getting charged. So, during that time, and you can go put it in YouTube, there in Chicago, the Hispanic community, now you can say it was a large portion, you can say that was only a couple, whatever. They went out and started attacking blacks who came in that community. And they said it as if, oh, well, we're just protecting our community and we don't want y'all bringing that riot stuff over here. And we're protecting our businesses and we don't want y'all destroying our businesses that we worked hard for. So it wasn't just the protesters they was doing this to. They were doing it to any blacks in the Cicero area, in a little Italy area that came through the neighborhood. And they posted it online. They would attack them. They would jump them. They was running them off the roads. They was ramming them, their cars, chasing them out the neighborhood. They did not want us in their neighborhood. But you want to ask where we at. We somewhere trying to be safe. Because we don't know what you going to do. Especially the one who wants to be more accepted into the white community. They want to be during this time. They're like, they're not like us. We ain't together. They treating us like you was a Tinder date. We ain't together. That's the, what they say on Boondock, don't trust dumb new over there. They was, So that's what I just wanted to stop and commentate on that part from Chicago, my personal experience. And I have said in previous times, plenty of times that on this channel, being from Chicago, I have experienced racism. And if you could say, oh, well, Hispanics not in power, so they can't be racist. I have experienced discrimination, bias, name calling more from the Hispanic community than I have from the whites. Maybe because we're closer in the area and closer in proximity, whatever. That's my personal experience.
Breonna Taylor, Sandra Bland, when they're coming.
And also, to be fair, there was Hispanics who I have seen that was in the protest with blacks. There was Hispanics for VP Harris. We all know that, but take her point is valid.
Community was getting killed. Where the fuck were we? Because I do not remember seeing any Latin people out there. Now, maybe there was one or two of y'all. I don't remember seeing any Mexicans out there. So why should they put their time, their energy, all of this into helping a group of people who didn't give a shit about them when they needed our help? Think about that. Also, where the hell are all your Latinos for Trump at? Because I see a lot of you guys crying on here that you regret your decision. He lied to us. He used us. Where the fuck are you? Are you out there protesting? Because you motherfuckers are really the ones who need to be out there. You guys. And all your fucking regrets for voting for him.
That 45% that I was talking about.
With your dumbasses. So before you...
I ain't call y'all dumb. She did. I'm just saying. Not saying I ain't think it. I just didn't say it.
You guys start wondering where the black people are. Wonder where the fucking Latinos for Trump are. Where the fuck are they? That should be the question we're asking.
Okay, y'all. So that's one video that I seen. Let me show y'all this other one. Hopefully I can pause it before I start. Okay. Let me bring this up. This is one of the ones with the Latino person is saying, "Oh, it's funny that the blacks are not around." If
everybody's true colors, only the black people, because y'all are going to forget what country you guys need to show
one of my friends said it, I thought it was hilarious. And talk to your people, leave us alone. That's what they're doing. And they're pissing you up for black women not doing while you're talking about black people.
But you're also quick to talk shit about us.
And you want to clean our house.
Quick to play the victim card.
Are you cleaning strong? You don't mind us. Yeah. Long time, yeah. Let me see. I'm also gonna show y'all. I will show y'all this one right here. To me, was hilarious. Just because, not because of what's happening, not because it's not sad what's happening, but this animated woman, it was Trump. Yeah, we love you. And now she's over there like, I can't believe he did that. You can't, maybe, and I don't know. Y'all tell me, maybe it's because they was used to Trump lying. So maybe when he said he was going to deport them, they were like, it's just Trump lying again. Y'all know how he doing. And they were like, he ain't going to do it because they used to him lying. And then now that he told that's the one thing that he ran on, because the eggs are definitely not cheaper. They go up every week. And this is Aldi's. The last time I went to Aldi's, not a name, and here we have like Jewels or Whole Food and things like that. Well, one of those stores. I went to Aldi's and eggs was $5.94 for a 12 case last week. It's probably $6.12 back now. So the gas is not cheaper. The eggs are not down. The groceries are not down. The war is still going on that was supposed to be ended. If he was president, it would have never started, but it's supposed to end on day one, which was January 20th, and it's February 12th, and it's still going on. So that one promise about this deportation, he like, no, I got that. I got it. Move back. Hold my bill. So maybe maybe that's why they shot, because he's doing what he said he was gonna do. But okay, y'all, let me pull up this one. Show y'all this one.
Vote for Mr. Trump. We vote for Mr. Trump.
It's Venezuelan in Florida.
Yes, Mr. Trump. We love you. We love you. On the way to the White House.
A few moments later.
Around Monday, Venezuelan Americans denounced the Trump administration and South Florida Republicans.
More than betrayed, beyond betrayed. They used us. They actually, during the campaign, and I don't want to make this political, but during the campaign, the elected officials from the Republican Party, they actually told us that he was not going to touch the documented people.
Baby, it's over there. What's that black guy? I forget his name. The black politician that be calling Trump daddy. That says, "Daddy's home," like Usher, baby.
Think the in my own land we can merge. So with no head you can learn. Let's see how much you can earn. Why me go big like the worm? And I ain't smoking.
I don't know why they got Rihanna.
The home of the villains. Ecstasy wonderful.
Well, let me go back.
Yes, Mr. Trump. We love you. We love you. On the way to the White House.
A few moments later.
Around Monday, Venezuelan Americans denounced the Trump administration and South Florida Republicans.
More than betrayed, beyond betrayed.
And she said, "It's not political. What is it?" Okay. So, besides the birth rate. Okay. I'm trying to. Let me go ahead. Come on now. Okay. I'm also play this one because what Trump is also getting rid of is the TPS. I want to say it's the name of it. It's the temporary protected status that a lot of immigrants, when they came over here, they end up getting a temporary protective status that protected them to be in the U.S. until maybe they go to court, until they get in front of the judge to hear whether they, seek an asylum and things of that nature, right? So I'm going to play out this video that explains that process and what's going on with that. And the title is Trump Administration Revokes TPS the Venezuelans. Now, Venezuelans is the ones who was just, "We love you, Trump." That video you just seen. And she's like, "We feel betrayed." This is why they feel betrayed, because Trump is now revoking the TPS, temporary protective status, from the Venezuelans. And to be fair, I know a lot of misinformation went out there as if these people voted for him. If they are illegal immigrants, you are not allowed to vote in the U.S. So these are not the ones who voted for him, but I guess they are the ones they put out there to try to jive and shuffle and jive for them and whatever. They put these Latino faces. "We love you, Trump." Venezuelan people who probably was not able to vote for him, but made it seem like, there was these Hispanics, this great thing with Hispanics who was vote for, and it did edge more Hispanics to vote for him if you see a large majority of your community vote for him, or you think a large majority of your community is voting for. But illegal immigrants cannot vote. But 45% of Hispanics who were U.S. citizens did vote for him. That's just to be fair and equal and put all the information out there.
Around 600,000 Venezuelans currently have temporary protected status in the United States. Many of them live in communities like Doral or Weston. Today, they're waking up to a new reality after the Homeland Security Secretary, Kristi Noem, announced they're rolling back the Biden-era extension for TPS. Venezuelans protected by TPS will no longer have legal status until October 2026. Instead, for those who applied for TPS during the registry period of 2023, their legal status ends on April 2nd, 2025, while those who applied in 2021 will see their TPS expire on September 10th, 2025.
No Venezuelan wants to return to Venezuela. That's the truth. And at the end of the day, I think that we may have over 500,000 Venezuelans applying for asylum, which is going to collapse even more or even further the immigration courts and our USCIS offices.
Right now, 600,000 letters to our senators and congressmen and President Trump would help a lot to our people to get the renovation of the TPS.
Yeah. Also, and I can't find the name, I can't find the video. If y'all know it, y'all can drop it down up in the comments. But also, I seen this, it's a Florida, it's not the governor, but maybe a mayor of Florida. It's a woman, and I'm not mistaken, she's Hispanic or something. But she go and do this plea to Trump to not deport the Cubans and not deport the Venezuelans and not deport. She gave a list. And she pretty much said, deport Mexicans. Don't deport the rest of them because that's our community over here. Like, so I assume that these 45% who voted for Trump thought he was just going to get rid of the Mexicans and not everybody Hispanic. Hilarious. It ain't hilarious. I also wanted to show y'all this. About I spoke on it, but I want to show y'all a little information on it about this transatlantic slave trade. When the Hispanics, particularly the Mexicans, are telling us that we owe y'all because we ran to Mexico for freedom, which is true. But do not forget that there was also Spain was also part of the and Portugal was also part of the trans-American slave trade. So this is from Britannica, right? And remember the dates. What year we started? The first African was here, 1619. So by the 1480s, Portuguese ships was already transporting Africans for use as enslaved laborers on the sugar plantation in Cape Verde and Madeira Islands in the eastern Atlantic. Spanish conquistadors took enslaved Africans to the Caribbean after 1502. We still ain't here yet. They still. Portuguese merchants continued to dominate the transatlantic slave trade for another century and a half, operating their bases in the Congo, Angola area along the west coast of Africa. The Dutch became the foremost traders of enslaved people during parts of the 1600s. In the following century, English and French merchants control about half of the transatlantic slave trade, taking a large percentage of their human cargo from the region of West Africa to Senegal. In 1713, an agreement between Spain and Britain granted the British a monopoly on the trade of enslaved people from the Spanish colonies. Britain was entitled to supply those colonies with 4,800 enslaved people per year for 30 years. So that's in 1713, but the Spanish was doing it all the way starting back in 1480s. Now, I also wanted to read this because I put in Google. Did Mexico have slaves? Because they want to throw it in their face. Hey, remember we saved y'all. Now it's y'all turn to save us. Where y'all at? So I'm like, wait, did Mexico slaves? So this is Google answer. In the 16th century, Mexico was a major slave trading country with an estimated 200,000 enslaved Africans. This population outnumbered the Spanish colonists for decades. The first African slaves arrived in Mexico in the early 16th century. They came from Cuba. The War of Liberation in the early 19th century ended Spanish slavery of Africans in Mexico. Many African descended people became absorbed into surrounding population through this union. Today, more than 1 million people in Mexico are descended from African slaves and identify as Black, dark, or Afro-Mexican. Many enslaved people resisted their enslavement through slave communities, insurrections, conspiracy, and individual escape. Runaway slaves also found freedom in Mexico, which became a safe haven for them. So, yes, Mexico was a safe haven. But before that, you also enslaved 200,000 Africans. So us helping you. Y'all may need to pay some reparations too. Okay, y'all. Now, I tried to get up at enough 10 before the kids wake up and sing like I didn't heard steps. One of them didn't get up. Here she can. Give me a minute. Matter of fact, let me let this song play again. Okay, yeah. I'm back. The babies had woke up. So let me go ahead and get to the second part. If y'all just joining, go to the beginning of the video. I forget my camera's not down there anymore. Go to the beginning of the video, and we talked about how the Hispanic community, particularly Mexican, are saying, where are the Black people at while all these Hispanics, while these Mexicans are getting deported? And we owe them because Mexico took in Blacks. It was like a safe city for us. When during slavery, slaves ran to Mexico and they was granted their freedom. So I discussed that. I discussed Mexico history of how they enslaved over 200,000 Blacks themselves before they outlawed slavery. And also have 45% voted for Trump, and you need to be talking to them. Now, let's go on. I didn't put this in the title, but I wanted to talk about this a little bit. Let's talk about Kendrick. Now, we already talked about hey, Drake. We already talked about that. We talked about that. I talked about that in a previous video. So I wanted to show this video of the explanation of everything, some of the things that was happening during the video. Because I was really, I watched it and was like, oh, I know there's a lot of symbolism here. But at the time of watching it, I'm just watching it, listening to it, and enjoying the show that he put on. And I said, you got to watch it a couple of times to catch everything, okay? So I want to show y'all this explanation that somebody gave of that explained a lot of what was going on.
Kendrick Lamar's Super Bowl halftime show. Let me break it down for you. Let's start with the game loading, signifying and setting the tone of what the theme of this performance would be, which is that we are playing the great American game, and not just playing it, but battling against the great American game. Hello. Did you catch all of the symbolism in Kendrick Lamar's Super Bowl?
I was trying to get her name. This video is 10 minutes. And I was trying to give you the name. It's Queen something, but my computer is not letting me go down. So I can put, oh, there it's over on the side. Queen Poe, P.O. That's who this video is about. You can find her on TikTok.
halftime show. Let me break it down for you. Let's start with the game loading, signifying and setting the tone of what the theme of this performance would be, which is that we are playing the great American game, and not just playing it, but battling against the great American game. It starts out with this game board that has the X, the circle, the square, and the triangle, similar to a game controller. And behind them in the stands, they had the loading that was done by lights in the stand. So it said like 55% loading with the loading bar. And at the end, it said 100% loaded, and the bar was fully loaded, signifying that it's time for the game to begin. This was good. Then we have the legendary, the iconic Samuel L. Jackson, who's everybody's uncle in the Black community. He's playing the role of Uncle Sam, who's a representation of the American government, and he welcomes us to the great American game. Now, what makes this so interesting is that in Django, Samuel L. Jackson played the sellout. He played the Sambo, right? So for him to be playing Uncle Sam and representing the larger white society, representing the government, telling Black people to be quiet, to be comfortable. In order to win the game, you have to be less of your authentic self, to simmer down and not do too much. Don't be too loud. Don't be too reckless. Anything you do will be deemed as ghetto and unnecessary if it makes the larger majority, as we've been told, uncomfortable. So this role for Sam was perfect.
It's your uncle, Sam. And this is the great American game.
Then we get Kendrick rapping a whole new verse that nobody has ever heard on top of the GNX, which really sets the tone that he's in today's time. This is about today's music.
Don't forget to like the video as y'all come in. Like the video, subscribe to the channel if you haven't already.
Ain't gonna be too many throwbacks for this performance here. And on top of that, he says the revolution will be televised. They picked the right time, but the wrong guy, which lets you know that I'm here with the message. This is not just about music. Pay close attention. It's also an ode to the revolution will not be televised by Gil Scott Heron. Do your Googles.
The revolution about to be televised. You picked the right time, but the wrong guy.
Well, you know, the catchphrase, what that was all about, the revolution will not be televised, that was about the fact that the first change that takes place is in your mind. You have to change your mind before you change the way you live and the way you move.
Then to have the all Black dancers dressed in red, white, and blue as he performs Squabble Up, which symbolizes that we are not going to just play the American game, baby. We ready to squabble up with the American game, because let us remind you that Black people are the culture. We are American culture. We're the culture around the world. And Kendrick kind of mentioned this during his Grammys acceptance speech when he said, listen, rap culture, hip hop culture is the culture. We are the foundation. So having Black people dressed in red, white, and blue informing the American.
And not only was they dressed in red, white, and blue, but if I'm not mistaken, once they, they get up there and doing this part, it looked like they bent over. And I'm like, it's almost as saying that, it was built on the back of Black America.
American flag is a symbol that our culture, that Black culture, Black blood, Black bodies are the foundation of America. Now that Kendrick has decided to squabble up and play the game, Uncle Sam comes back and tells him, you're too loud, too reckless, too ghetto. Don't you know how to play the game? Symbolizing you need to be quiet. If you want to win this game, be quiet, be mild, be meek. You will not win by squabbling up. Be silent, suffer in silence, which haven't we been told that for so long? Then Kendrick switches to Be Humble, which was such an amazing song choice considering what Uncle Sam just said. And he has the Black dancers who are dressed in red, white, and blue, shaped in the form of the American flag, which symbolizes the Black experience in America. And at first they're nodding along, which is the sign of just going along with the flow in America. And then they switch to pose, and some are fist in the air, which is a sign of unity, revolutionary power, while others have their arms down, which is a sign that they may want a different type of revolution, or they may not be aligned with that form of revolution. And then they all in a collective bow down, right? And then come back up and they switch into these karate poses. They start doing these different karate poses, which is a sign of collective unity in fighting against oppression in the system. And one of the most symbolic poses was this one, where after all of the revolutions, after the different fights, they just eventually bow down and stand back up and march military style to the next scene. Now, I have to acknowledge the symbolism of all of this occurring within the square. If you understand the square within the Black community, it is an old saying to stand on your square, to stand on your dean. And the square represents us standing in our power, standing in our purpose, and knowing who we are. He is telling the story of Black history in America through all of this symbolism. And one of the most interesting things is that the flag is divided, and he, the storyteller of the Black American experience, is standing in the middle of that division. Now, this scene was brilliant because he transitions to the next chapter of the Black American story, which was after the revolutions. And after the revolutions, they created a new form of slavery known as the prison industrial complex. And if you see at the top in lights, it says warning, wrong way, signifying that we are going in the wrong.
Now, I didn't even see that doing this. And when I tell you, and I know this video is 10 minutes, I don't play the whole thing. But because she touched on so many things that I did not see during the performance, I was like, go ahead, girl, let her cook. Let her tell it.
Wrong direction. Warning, warning. I'm telling y'all that we are moving backwards. That's what he's constantly letting us know throughout this entire show. Now we have the prison industrial complex where he's showing us we're going to be headed right back to a new form of slavery, just like they did with the prison industrial complex. Now, in this prison yard, he performs DNA, reminding us that we are royalty. We have loyalty in our DNA. Know who you are, have knowledge yourself. Remember your power as a Black person. And he also performs Euphoria and then eases into Peekaboo as he transitions over to the X. Now, what's important to recognize within this prison yard is he has the street lights, and there are brothers sitting on top of the street lights watching over the yard, which symbolizes quite a few things. Number one, we are always being watched. We are always being observed. The lights are always on the Black community because, once again, we are the culture. We are America. But also mind the watchful eye, mind the evil eye that is watching over you, attempting to trap you in. And within the prison yard, he's showing that we still build community. As he's performing, he has the old doo-wop harmonies happening behind him because despite this new form of slavery that impacted the Black community, we still found a way to be beautiful and bold and Black and so very much worthy of everything we deserve that is centered and aligned in wellness. We found a way to create music, and remember, this is about the 40 acres and a mule. This is bigger than the music. So he's telling a story about the music and beyond.
Scorekeeper, deduct one life.
Then he transitions into the X, which is one of my favorite scenes because it represents the merging of the divine feminine and sacred masculine energy that we have within all of us, but that really uphold the foundation of the Black community. The brothers are vibing out to Peekaboo, and then they all come together, and the space opens up, and the sisters enter into the X, and Kendrick goes over to consult with the sisters, which was a constant theme throughout the entire show. Throughout the entire show, Kendrick was always consulting with the sisters and telling them what was on his mind and asking for their advice, asking what he should do. That is a symbolism of the brothers, the divine masculine energy, needing to kind of unload that logic mind and get some of that divine feminine intuition and guidance and advisement. That was just beautiful.
No, they not like us. They not like us. No, they not like us. No, they not like us.
And then they transition to the triangle where they began to perform the love songs, the ballads with SZA. SZA and Kendrick coming together and performing at the center of the triangle represents the power of Black love, building the Black family unit, which makes up the Black community.
I said, oh, I said, let her. She was speaking right there. Okay, girl. Tell me some mouth.
You have the two parents coming together to create and manifest the child and continuing on the generations, the legacy of the Black community. Then they transition to the circle where he and SZA perform All of the Stars. And the circle represents a clock moving, time passing by, but then they move counterclockwise, which is a sign that
Now I will say in all the other previous videos, they were saying that that the X, the O, it was the PlayStation remote. I have seen some that said that was the Squid Game um, representation of the Squid Game, because Squid Game is also, if you interpret it, it's the how the rich people are controlling the lower class to make them do anything for money, and how we are killing each other while the rich people just watching and for their entertainment. I have said that, but I have seen that, but I also like her explanation.
We are going backwards in time. Now, right after this, Uncle Sam comes back and praises Kendrick for doing a good job by being silent, docile, calm.
Oh no. It's a cultural divide. I'm gonna get it on the flow. You really about to do it? 40 acres in the mule. This is bigger than the music. You really about to do it? Yeah, they tried to rig the game, but you can't fake influence.
And as Kendrick said, this is bigger than the music. So him performing Not Like Us is not just about Drake, but it's about understanding who we are as Black people in America, us reclaiming our crown and remembering who's not like us. We got to get these squares.
And I also thought that when he said but you can't fake the music, it's because Drake lawsuit is claiming that this song only made it big, and because the music industry purposely took out copyright so people was able to play it for free and blah blah blah, like the numbers that Kendrick's song did isn't real. That's Drake lawsuit. But that's my interpretation of when he said that. That's what I thought.
About our circle, which is one of the reasons he returned to the square where he performed Not Like Us before ending with TV off, reminding us that the full revolution will not be televised. Stop being programmed. Turn the TV off.
Turn this TV off. Turn this.
And also something that I didn't know is that SZA and Drake used to date. So I said, if that ain't diabolical that this man had brought both of your exes out, and one of them was crip walking on your diss song. But Serena also was, if I'm not mistaken, fined for doing one of her matches for crip walking. So that was also meant something when she came out and was crip walking. It ain't just like crip walking on your ex grade because Kendrick murdered now. But it's also that she was fine, so it's like double entendre meaning. It's a double meaning with Serena being there. Now, of course, y'all, I'm a person who that was just given a serious. This is a video that I found was funny that this mulatto or biracial man made after the Super Bowl. He was like, man, the biracials then lost for the year. Let's see. No, that's not it. I'm going to show y'all this one, then we're going to end it around with that, y'all.
The death of the biracial, because let's be honest, what we witnessed was Jalen Hurts bully the fuck out of that biracial man. We just watched him get sacked and smacked down on every single play.
I'm saying, doing Super Bowl, I was over there, somebody help that quarterback. Oh my God. It was awful. It was awful.
And then for halftime, we watched Kendrick Lamar do the same thing to Drake. The way that he looked in that camera and he was like, say Drake, that was crazy. That was crazy. The whole stadium chanted A minor. That's crazy. I know Drake was watching the game from his mansion in Toronto. The game is in Louisiana, mind you. When that halftime show started, I bet he turned his TV off. And even then, from his window, he still heard that audience of people yelling out A minor. That A minor was heard all the way around the world. I don't think we have any biracial leadership left. I don't think we have anybody left. We don't have any representatives. Who do we have? Zendaya? Lord, please let us keep Zendaya. I feel like that Super Bowl represented the death of the biracial because
Okay, y'all. And this is the last thing I want to say about the Super Bowl. I have seen clips that I want to say Tigger was over there at the Super Bowl, and if I'm not mistaken, it was like he was along with Drake and Lil Wayne. He was part of their group, and they're showing his reaction when the whole crowd say A minor, and I'm looking like, and all he did was like buck his ass. What can he say? He was with Kylie when she was 16, 15, and allegedly, I ain't got no money to be suing me. Allegedly, he was with her when she was that age. So, but what he have said and what she have said and her family have said, they didn't start dating until she was 18. He knew her, would come over, but they wasn't dating till she was 18. So, because you remember his baby mama, she's not China anymore. She doesn't go by China anymore, but old China was talking about how and everybody on the internet, social media was saying how he left his kid, his family for this kid. He left his biological kid to be with another kid, but allegedly. So I don't know what you're showing his reaction for. I know he over there like, oh, thank God this ain't me, because Kendra probably would have put up old texts and everything that I sent her when she was underage. Whew, Lord, put that spotlight on Drake, not me, because what can he say? Really? I'm surprised Kendrick didn't mention that. Because even though he don't have charges, I'm just saying allegedly maybe he should. Now, let me get on out of here. Don't forget to like the video, y'all. And subscribe to the channel if you haven't. Click all so you can get notifications for when I go live. Drop down if y'all are part of the playback team. Drop down in the comments. Let me know what y'all feel about the Hispanics and them asking the black community. And me saying, don't you put that on us, Ricki Bobbi, because that is not our responsibility. Even though we still love y'all, and I'm quite sure there's still gonna be. Hopefully, there'll be a time that we could come together. Also, drop down in the comments. Let me know what y'all thought about the Super Bowl performance and what was your interpretation of the visual. And was there anything that the video that I showed y'all that you missed or that you interpreted different, so we can have a conversation about it? Other than that, I got to get up out of here. I will catch y'all next time. Bye.